Today in cannabis news, following a delay, Ohio cannabis advocates submit additional signatures for a statewide cannabis legalization proposal. Delaware legislators introduce a new social equity-focused statewide cannabis legalization proposal, and a couple of bills submitted by Florida lawmakers seek to legalize or decriminalize cannabis statewide. It's Monday, January 17th, and this is your Trichomes Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the Trichomes.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, following state authorities determining that their prior signature collection was inadequate, Ohio cannabis advocates say they have handed in 29,918 additional signatures for a statewide legalization proposal. The group says now it is confident that they have gathered sufficient support to persuade legislators to consider the matter. The Coalition to Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol thought it had sufficient legitimate signatures to initiate a regulatory assessment of the proposal last month, but the Secretary of State's department stated there were a sufficient number of fraudulent signatures and gave campaigners a short time frame to gather others. Adults 21 years or older would be allowed to carry a maximum of 2.5 ounces of cannabis, as well as up to 15 grams of cannabis extracts under the proposal that legislators would be obliged to discuss. People would be allowed to cultivate up to 6 plants for private consumption with a residential limit of 12 plants.
Next up, Delaware legislators have introduced a new statewide cannabis legalization proposal that differs significantly from an earlier one that cleared a state house panel in 2021, but stagnated before a planned floor vote due to differences over social equity measures. Representative Ed Ozienski is once again the bill's sponsor. Adults 21 years or older would be able to buy and carry a maximum of an ounce of cannabis, but they would not be able to grow it privately at home. The licensure structure incorporates social equity, for instance, by mandating officials to grant 30 shop permits 19 months following the legislation's implementation, with at least 15 going to those recognized as social equity candidates who have been adversely disadvantaged by cannabis criminality. The Justice Reinvestment Fund would provide funding, programs, and other efforts to those in underprivileged neighborhoods who are adversely targeted by the failed war on drugs, such as incarceration avoidance, employment services, and development help. As per a report from the Marijuana Policy Project, the funds would also be utilized to assist with criminal record expungements.
Last up, Florida Democrat legislators are aiming to legalize cannabis, and they're imploring the state's GOP majority legislature to do so immediately. In the 2022 legislative session so far, state Democrats have submitted upwards of 10 cannabis proposals, one of which, HB 467, would legalize adult use cannabis statewide, whereas others call for statewide cannabis decriminalization. In the state legislature, all of them will see strong challenges. At a recent media briefing, Representatives Yvonne Hinson and Geraldine Thompson joined a number of Democratic legislators and advocates to present their position on cannabis legalization. They said that illegality is hurting Floridians, notably minority populations. In 2018, 42,000 persons were jailed for misdemeanor cannabis possession in the state, with over half of them being Black, according to Representative Hinson. "We are not arresting kingpins here," Hinson said. "We are arresting small-scale users and ruining their lives." On the other hand, statewide decriminalization, according to Representative Dottie Joseph, would spare valuable resources and reduce congestion in state jails. Every addictive drug would be decriminalized within Representative Joseph's bill, HB 725. An individual in possession of an addictive substance, such as cannabis, would incur a non-criminal $50 ticket rather than incarceration. The proposal also requires the Florida Department of Health to research successful substance rehabilitation strategies and provide pardons to those who have been imprisoned for cannabis possession.
That was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit Trichomes.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Second Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation wherever you get your podcasts. For Trichomes.com, I'm Devin Leal.
And I'm RJ Balde, signing off.